These are the settings that I use on my DJI Action 6 to make my vlogs insanely cinematic. First thing you want to do is set your camera to Pro mode because this is where you unlock all the manual features. And here we can dial in the settings and make sure everything is perfect. So the first thing I want to do is set my EV, my exposure compensation to 0.3 because the DJI Action 6 tends to kind of overexpose in the highlights and I want to protect my highlights. So I have them to play with in the color grade. Now my shutter speed I'm going to set to 1/100. It might be crazy to do that, but I'm going to explain why. Now we all know the shutter rule, which is set your shutter speed to double your frame rate, but on the Action 6 the cameras are stabilized digitally. If you follow that rule to the T, the image sometimes comes out jittery, but I still want to maintain some motion blur, so 1/100 has been a sweet spot for me. I still get motion blur and I still get stabilization on the footage. So for white balance I just set that to auto. The DJI Action 6 has a white balance monitor on the front. To make life easy for me, I just set that to auto and adjust it in the color grading. For picture profile I use D-Log M because I color grade my footage and I set it to 10-bit to make sure I get the maximum range of colors from this footage. So for aperture I leave it at f4. Everything is nice and sharp and I don't have to worry about it or think about it. I just set it and forget it. The next two settings help take away the digital look from the footage. So I like to turn my texture and noise reduction to -2 and I find that works best for me. For resolution I'm going to be shooting at 4K and 24 frames per second. I set the stabilization to horizon balance and standard DWAR. Horizon balance just make sure everything is leveled, especially when you're out vlogging and you're moving around and the camera is tilting and everything like that, so the footage stays level at all times. Now this is a very important settings a lot of people skip, and that is changing the bit rate to the highest bit rate. If you don't have the highest bit rate, it doesn't make sense you even start recording because the footage is not going to be at the maximum quality it can be. So go into your settings and make sure you change bit rate to high bit rate. Then another secret tip that I use is I save this as a preset, so when I turn on my camera all I have to do is find a preset, click it, and I'm ready to record. You can also set up one for vertical. All you have to do is change it to vertical orientation and you're good to go. So that's all the settings I use to film cinematic vlogs. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.